What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing something that is an absolute must on the Audi TT. So let's get out the car and get straight to it. So the two things we're going to be changing today are the cam follower in the high pressure fuel pump, because that can degrade over time, and the PCV valve, because I keep getting a fault on the car and it's causing the engine warning light to come on, and when I go on the codes it says bank 1 run and lean, which a faulty PCV valve can cause, and it also says the PVC system, evap system, sorry, purge flow isn't right, which again I think is down to the PCV valve. So we'll change that and we'll do the high pressure fuel pump cam follower. These are just two of the many problems on this Audi TT, and if you haven't saw the last video, top right hand corner now, you'll see every fault on this car from the day I picked it up, and you'll be more up to date with the car. So first we'll start off with the new purge valve. Ooh, the engine bay is lovely one. And literally a like for like replacement. Pull the old one, stick the new one in. Hopefully that fixes the evap fault, and then when I wipe the code it won't come back. So first things first, in order to remove the PCV valve I need to take these two hoses off the side, and to do that I loosen these Jubilee clips with a flathead screwdriver, and hopefully they don't snap because these are very rusty. Next I'm going to remove the high pressure fuel pump electrical connector, and then the connector on the solenoid, because it needs to come off anyway and it gives me a little more room to work with. Tilt. Now pull the purge valve off the little hanger, disconnect both hoses, and that is the purge valve removed, ready for the new one to go in. So as you can see on the valve, it is directional, so it needs to go in the right way, even though it'll only go in one way based on the orientation of the electrical connector. If you put the valve in backwards, it won't do its job properly. So when I'm doing jobs on the car, one thing I like to do is, if I come across any hardware that is rusty, corroded, damaged, or an absolute pain to get off, I replace it with nice new ones. So if you ever need to remove that again, it'll be that, and it'll be so much easier to get off. And now on with the new PCV valve. So installing the new PCV valve is the reverse of removing it. So you get the inside hose in, get it on the hanger, get the outside hose in, get the electrical connector plugged in, and then tighten it all down. Oh, and the high pressure fuel pump connector as well. Now onto the cam follower and the high pressure fuel pump. So to replace this, what you'll need is new bolts. They're stretch bolts, so once they go in and stretch, they're tight then. When you remove them, if you put them back into factory torques, they won't be as tight as they should be. The new cam follower and a new O-ring seal, so when you take that off, it doesn't leak when you put it back on. So the first thing you need to do when doing this job is this little Schrader valve down here, a bit like a car tyre, a bike tyre, whatever else. You want to take that cap off, don't drop it. And then, as the name suggests, it's a high pressure fuel pump, so down there you need to release the pressure so you can take this off safely. And to do that, you just get a screwdriver in, give it a poke, so now the system is fully depressurized. You can take these 3 bolts off safely to get to the cam follower. And we'll just put that back on so we don't lose it. So now I'm going to undo the 3 Torx bolts on the fuel pump itself to get the pump off to change the follower. So I've just put that black cap back on to take it off again, because I've just realised I can't get to the bottom bolt. So we'll take the cap off, we'll take that little valve off, and then we can get the Torx bits in to get that last bolt out to get the high pressure fuel pump off. Also, the last bit of fuel came out the pump and scared me, so I dropped the valve, so I'm going to have to go digging under the car to find that as well. Great. So that is now the last bolt removed, and it's time to remove the pump. So now the bolt's out, give it a good wiggle. Based on that failed attempt to remove the pump, I realised I didn't disconnect one of the hard lines, so I'll disconnect this line now, and then the pump should just come straight off. And there's the cam follower. It actually doesn't look that bad, to be fair, but it's just something you don't want to take a risk on. So we'll get the new one in, we'll change the O-ring, and we'll get everything bolted back up. So we'll get our trusty little pick tool, get the O-ring seal out of this, like so. There's the old one. Then we'll get the new one. Put a little bit of oil on it, because you don't want to put that in dry. Just lubricate it slightly with some engine oil. Get it back over. Now that that seal's in, we get the follower, and again, bit of oil on it. Don't want to stick it in dry. Bit of oil around it as well. Over like that. We'll get that in. Get the bolts in. We're all good. So like I said earlier, we'll replace these with the new bolts in the kit because these are stretch bolts and you don't really want to use the old ones in case you run the risk of it coming loose, and that's never a good thing. So if you do get a follower kit, make sure you try and get one with new bolts. So now we'll get the Schrader valve back in, yes, the one that scared the life out of me before, and we'll get it nice and tight and we'll get the cover back on it. Before you come at me in the comments, yes, I know the cable tied plug on the fuel pump is horrendous, but if you've ever worked on a Volkswagen Audi group car, you'll know exactly how much of a pain those connectors are. And I'd say that's everything done. Well, not quite. You'll find out in just a second. So now that they're fitted, we'll turn the key on the ignition but not start the car, purely just to prime the fuel rail again because we've taken all the pressure out of the fuel system at the top end. So we'll prime it, then hopefully it'll start. Anyone noticed what I've missed yet? Well, you'll find out in 3, 2, 1. Yep, I didn't connect the hard line back up. So now that everything's tight, we can try again. And this time, no leaks and it's holding pressure. So now it's time to see if it starts, and I really hope the fuel in the engine bay doesn't catch fire. So guys, we finished both. The evap system has a new PCV valve on it. The high pressure fuel pump has a new cam follower in it. So I know that's going to be safe for at least another 10,000 miles. I'll make a note of the date and when it comes back around to it, we'll have a look. But I can't believe I forgot to put the fuel supply connector back on the bottom of the fuel pump. Idiot. So now we'll plug the OBD2 reader in and we'll see what codes have caused the engine light. And I know it's going to be the evap system fault and bank 1 running lean. So we'll wipe those codes to see if the change in the PCV valve has made any difference, and we'll take it for a drive to see if we can feel anything whilst we're driving. So now the engine management light is gone, so we'll go for a drive. Right, so now we've changed the PCV valve and the high pressure fuel pump cam follower. We'll take the car for a little drive and we'll see what's changed, if anything, because we have also cleared an engine fault, so the car might run a little bit better. So we'll get our foot down and see how it goes. Jesus, a little £10 valve. I know I wiped the engine code as well, like, but a little £10 valve has made such a difference. Like, it revs so much faster, it's so much more responsive, it feels like there's more torque. So when you put your foot down, it takes off, it goes, it wants to get out. And all I've done is literally change that little PCV valve, little £10 valve, took the code off the dash, changed the high pressure fuel pump follower, but that's not really, that's more just so it doesn't fail. It wasn't causing an issue for the engine. But I am genuinely surprised that that little valve has made such a difference. Wow. Just shows the littlest of things to make the biggest of differences. I've just realised whilst editing, that faulty PCV valve has probably caused a boost leak, and now the car is running on full boost, hence the reason it feels a lot faster. I'm baffled. Did not expect that to do that at all. I thought the car would have ran the same, just a little less lumpy, but it just seems so much more responsive now. So if you've got an Audi TT or Mark II, I'd highly recommend you look into changing that valve, because it could be partially blocked and you wouldn't even realise until it gets to a point where the engine needs to flag it up to you on the dash. So yeah, back to me at the unit. But this is just going to be a little quick one, as a little how-to, and those two jobs are a must on the Audi TT. So hope you enjoyed the content. Again, it kind of shows that even I can mess up, and I've worked on cars for a while, but it's a very simple job. Few tools, take you no longer than, I think I've done that in half an hour. So if you get stuck in, it could save you catastrophic engine failure, and a PCV system might work a bit better should you change that valve. So thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications bell so you get an update when I post a video, whether it be on the TT or the GTO, because there's so many things I need to do, and some parts came for the GTO, so there'll be an exciting video for that coming up soon. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Afraid to turn out the